Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Tuesday, November the 27th, and welcome to our video commentary. It's fascinating what is happening in Mexico, not on the border, but in Mexico itself, over this caravan that is right now sitting in Tijuana across from the United States. And of course, it all started in Tijuana itself, where the mayor of that city, Tijuana is right across from San Diego. It's a big city. There are many manufacturing operations there, and there's a middle class in Tijuana, as there is in much of the north of Mexico. And the mayor was protesting that he cannot handle these people in the caravan, and then you had marches of citizens of Tijuana who went out to protest against the caravan, saying, "Hey, what are you doing here? Go home. We really cannot take all of these people in our city." I mean, they were filling up parks and all of that, and they became a real nuisance to the locals. Now you have a fascinating bit of news. There's a poll that was done in Mexico by El Universal, who one of the major newspapers in Mexico City and in Mexico itself. And what they're saying is that 52% of Mexicans want these people to go home. They don't want them in their country. And that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the incoming administration of López Obrador. He's going to be president in about 10 days, the 1st of December. He takes over. And he takes over with this problem right on his lap. And he's going to have to deal with it because he's facing opposition from his own country. Also, these caravans are violating a policy of Mexico. Mexico had a policy that they were not very open to illegal immigration, primarily from Central America. They didn't want to be an avenue, if you will, to the United States. So the new president is facing a very difficult challenge. A lot of the opposition is coming from the north of Mexico, where the more conservative, you might say right-center part of Mexico, where you have a lot of big cities like Monterrey, like Nuevo Laredo, like Tijuana, and so on. And these are cities where you see a pretty large middle class if you've ever been to these towns. So it really presents a challenge for the new president of Mexico. He's going to have to make a decision very fast. Number one, does he want to get into a fight with President Trump, but really with the middle class of Mexico, who's not crazy about these caravans, or does he want to, basically send the caravan back home and say, no, we're not going to allow these people to come into our country. You go home and you, from your own country, you apply for asylum. It's going to be an interesting test of leadership because it's really a difficult situation either way. He is a man of the left, and he's grown up basically very fond of migrants, but now he's president and he's going to have to take into consideration the whole country. It's going to be very interesting to watch. My guess, and it's just a guess, is that President López Obrador, when he becomes president, is going to basically draw the line and say, no, we're not going to allow caravans. And the people who are in Tijuana right now and other parts of Mexico are basically going to be told, you can stay, we'll make an exception for you. But the rest of you who want to come, you're not going to be allowed into Mexico. That makes a lot of sense for Mexico in many ways, not just because of the position of the United States, but it makes sense internally because, as we have said before, the last thing that Mexico wants to do is to turn Mexico into an avenue, not just for Central Americans, but for lots of other people, frankly, who want to come into the United States. We'll keep an eye on this very interesting and very tense situation in Mexico regarding the caravans. I have a post coming out Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning about this, and it's obvious that the people who planned this caravan didn't plan for all of these things to happen. I think they thought that they would basically come into the United States and come in without consequences. Well, they're finding out that President Trump is dead serious about stopping them at the border. And I think they're also finding out that Mexico is not that crazy with having all these people in their country. This is not what the planners of the caravan had been planning for. Well, thank you for watching. We have all of these on YouTube. We have them on my blog, and we have them on Twitter, or tweet, I guess. And if November 22nd is your birthday, like my sister, happy birthday, sister. Well, happy birthday to everybody. Bye-bye.